right, everyone, let's dive right in. AI in business. It's everywhere you turn these days, right? But you know how it is. Everyone's talking about it, but what's the actual reality?
Totally. It's easy to get lost in all the hype.
And that's why we love these deep dives, getting into the really practical stuff.
Yeah.
So today we're doing exactly that, separating the hype from the real-world impact.
You got to cut through the noise.
Exactly. And we've got some juicy material to work with. A guide from XR1 AI Consulting. Usually this is for their big-time clients, right?
That's right.
So you know it's going to be good. It's packed with real examples of how companies are using AI, like, right now today.
It's amazing to see it in action.
Like, get this AI predicting when machines are going to break before it happens.
How about that?
Personalizing your shopping experience so it's like they're reading your mind.
It really is incredible.
Even catching fraudsters red-handed. It's wild.
And what's fascinating is it's not just about the cool tech. This guide really hammers home that AI is strategic.
Okay, I like where this is going.
It's not just an upgrade. It's a whole new way of thinking about your business.
Right. It's like AI is a game changer for companies who can figure it out.
Exactly. And this guide really boils it down to 4 key benefits. Boosting efficiency, obviously making smarter decisions because now you've got the data.
Data is king.
It really is. And then, of course, unlocking new innovations.
Because if you can do all that other stuff, why not innovate?
Precisely. And, of course, you've got to create those amazing customer experiences.
Because in the end, that's what it's all about, right? Happy customers.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm hooked. But let's break it down. How are these benefits actually showing up in the real world? Not just in theory, but like companies seeing actual results.
Yeah, let's get into it. So take efficiency. Think of a huge factory, right? Every minute that a machine's down, that's money lost.
Time is money.
Exactly.
Mm.
But now imagine using AI to predict those failures before they happen. That's what this predictive maintenance stuff is all about.
Okay, now that is powerful. Like having a crystal ball for your equipment.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the guide had this great example, a company using this technology, and bam, 20% reduction in downtime.
Wow. I can only imagine the impact on their bottom line.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah.
And that's just scratching the surface.
Okay, so that's efficiency. What about making smarter decisions with all this data we're swimming in? That feels huge and kind of overwhelming at the same time.
It is. But that's where AI really shines, is like having this super-powered analyst that can sift through all the noise and pinpoint what really matters.
So instead of drowning in data, you can actually use it to your advantage.
Exactly. And those insights, man, they could be pure gold.
Okay, I'm seeing the light here.
Right.
So it's like having a team of expert consultants working for you 24/7, but without the massive consulting fees.
Exactly. You're getting it. And with those insights, suddenly you can innovate like you never thought possible.
I mean, the possibilities are endless, right?
Totally. We're talking everything from developing medicines tailored to your DNA to those eerily accurate ads that seem to know you better than you know yourself.
Okay, now that's both impressive and a little creepy. But back to the good stuff. I'm starting to see how AI isn't just about robots taking over, but about giving businesses these really smart tools.
It's a partnership.
Exactly. Tools that help them run smoother and smarter. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How is AI actually being used in different departments? It's like we're taking a tour through an AI-powered company. Where do we start?
Well, every company needs to keep the lights on, right? So let's head over to the operations department.
This is where we see AI automating those everyday tasks, making processes super efficient.
Exactly. And the guide dives into something called robotic process automation, RPA for short.
Okay, I've heard that term thrown around. RPA. Break it down for me.
Think of it like this: a digital workforce that never sleeps, never takes a coffee break, and never complains about data entry. They just get the job done.
Every manager's dream.
Right. And because these robots are handling all the repetitive, rule-based tasks.
The stuff that would make a human want to pull their hair out.
Exactly. It frees up those valuable human employees to focus on more strategic, creative work. And let's be honest, they're going to make fewer errors than we humans do.
And fewer errors means increased efficiency and a happier bottom line.
You got it. It's a win-win for everyone. And speaking of efficiency, remember those predictive machine failures we were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of the operations magic, too.
Yeah. It's like having a crystal ball for your entire operation.
The guide had this amazing example of a global manufacturer using AI-powered predictive maintenance, and they managed to slash their machine downtime by a whopping 30%.
Wow. 30%. That's incredible. We're talking massive cost savings and a huge boost to their overall productivity. Okay, so we've tackled the factory floor, but what about those of us who are glued to our screens all day? How is AI shaking things up in the world of customer service? I bet you're going to say chatbots.
You know me too well. But you're right, chatbots are a great example.
Everyone's talking about them, but do they actually work?
They do. Imagine you're an online retailer, right? You've got thousands of customer inquiries flooding in every hour. It's overwhelming.
Total chaos.
Exactly. Now imagine AI-powered chatbots handling a big chunk of those inquiries, answering common questions instantly, 247, without ever needing a break.
Okay, that sounds amazing in theory, but are customers actually happy with these chatbot interactions?
That's the thing they are. In fact, this guide mentioned an online retailer that managed to handle a whopping 70% of their customer inquiries using AI chatbots.
70%, that's incredible. So not only does it save the company time and money, but it also improves the customer experience because they're getting faster, more efficient service. Talk about a win-win.
Exactly. And it goes even deeper than that.
Oh, tell me more.
Think about all those online reviews, social media posts, emails, all that stuff that can make or break a brand's reputation these days.
Oh yeah, it's like the Wild West out there.
It is. But AI can actually help companies understand what customers are really saying about them.
So instead of just reacting to every angry tweet, they can get a handle on the bigger picture.
Exactly. AI can analyze massive amounts of data, social media, emails, online reviews, and it can gauge the overall sentiment.
So it's like having a finger on the pulse of customer opinion, helping companies spot potential PR disasters before they blow up.
Exactly. And speaking of getting ahead of the game, let's move on to sales and marketing.
Now, this is where things get interesting, because this is where it gets really personal.
Oh, absolutely. AI is a complete game changer in sales and marketing.
We've all seen those targeted ads, right? The ones that seem to know what we want before we even do.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little creepy, but also incredibly effective.
And it's all thanks to AI. One of the key things happening here is something called predictive lead scoring. Basically, imagine you have a list of potential customers.
Every business has that list.
Right. But now AI can analyze tons of data about these people, their past purchases, their demographics, even their online behavior. And it can tell you who's most likely to actually buy from you.
So no more wasting time on dead-end leads.
Exactly. Every salesperson on the planet is rejoicing right now. And then there's dynamic pricing.
What's that?
Ever notice how sometimes you'll check the price of something online, like a plane ticket, and then an hour later it's gone up?
Yeah, it's frustrating. Like, they know I'm interested, and they're trying to squeeze me for more money.
That's dynamic pricing in action. AI is adjusting the prices in real time based on all sorts of factors like demand, competitor pricing, even what you've been looking at online.
Okay, that's both brilliant and a little scary. Like, AI is playing mind games with us.
In a way, it is. But for businesses, it's incredibly valuable.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like having your finger on the pulse of the market, constantly adapting to stay ahead of the game.
Okay, so AI is clearly a rock star in sales and marketing, but let's talk about something a little less glamorous, but just as crucial: finance and risk management. This is where AI's analytical powers really come in handy, right? Absolutely, think about it. Analyzing millions of transactions in real time, spotting suspicious activity that a human would never catch.
It's like having a superpowered fraud detection system.
Exactly. That's one of the most powerful applications of AI in finance, protecting businesses and consumers from financial crime. It's a big deal.
Huge. And it's not just about playing defense. AI can help companies make smarter financial decisions overall.
Absolutely. Risk assessment, forecasting, even automating those mind-numbing financial reports that nobody wants to do, AI can handle it.
It's like having a whole team of financial wizards at your disposal.
That's the idea, freeing up the human experts to focus on strategy and the big picture. But let's not forget about the human side of business, right?
Right. We've got to talk about human resources. Everyone's biggest asset, their people.
Exactly. And AI is about to revolutionize the way companies find and nurture that talent.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, say goodbye to those days of sifting through mountains of resumes. Right. AI-powered tools can analyze thousands of applications in minutes, finding the best candidates based on the specific skills and experience that the company needs.
So you're telling me AI can help companies make better hiring decisions faster?
Exactly. Remember that stat we mentioned earlier about a company reducing their time to hire by 50%? That's AI in action.
That's incredible. So not only are they finding better candidates, but they're doing it much faster. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Precisely. And it's not just about hiring. AI can also help companies create a more engaging, fulfilling workplace for their employees. It can analyze all sorts of data, performance reviews, engagement surveys, and it can flag potential issues early on.
So it's like having a finger on the pulse of employee morale, helping companies create a work environment where everybody thrives.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing. But let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture. How is AI impacting those massive interconnected systems that keep the world running? Things like supply chains and logistics.
Oh man, don't even get me started on supply chains. It's like trying to herd cats.
Right. But that's where AI can really shine. Imagine being able to predict demand with incredible accuracy, making sure that products are in the right place at the right time with no waste or delays.
That sounds like a dream come true for any business owner.
It is, and AI is making that dream a reality. This guide had a great example of a logistics company that used AI-powered route optimization to cut down their delivery times by 15%.
15%, that's huge. And I bet it saves them a ton of money on fuel costs.
You bet. They actually reduced fuel costs by 10%.
I love it when technology can help us be both more profitable and more sustainable.
Absolutely. It's a win-win for everyone. So we've seen how AI is impacting businesses across the board, from operations to customer service to even HR. But what about specific industries? Let's dive into some concrete examples there. How is AI being used in, say, healthcare?
Now, that's an area where even small improvements can have a huge impact on people's lives.
Absolutely. Imagine a world where AI helps doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately than ever before.
Now, that's powerful stuff.
It is. We're talking about AI algorithms that can analyze medical images like X-rays, MRIs, and spot tiny anomalies that a human eye might miss.
It's like having a second set of eyes, but these eyes are super powered.
Exactly. And the guide had this really cool case study where AI actually helped radiologists detect early-stage cancer.
Wow, that's incredible. Talk about life-saving technology.
It's truly remarkable.
Yeah.
And it's not just about diagnosis either. AI is also leading the charge in personalized medicine.
Okay, now that sounds like something straight out of Star Trek. Personalized medicine, what does that even mean?
It means tailoring treatments to a person's unique genetic makeup and lifestyle.
So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, it's all about finding the treatment that will work best for you as an individual.
Exactly. The future of healthcare. And speaking of personalized experiences, let's not forget about retail. We talked about dynamic pricing and personalized recommendations, but AI is doing even more in that space.
Yeah, those personalized recommendations always freak me out a little. Like, how do they know I was just looking at that?
It's all about the data. Those recommendations are powered by algorithms that analyze your browsing history, your past purchases, even your social media activity to figure out what you might be interested in next.
Okay, it's official. AI is spying on us. But in a way that's beneficial, I guess, because as much as it freaks me out, I have to admit, those recommendations are often spot on.
That's the power of AI. And it's not just about driving sales. AI can also help retailers optimize their inventory, which means they're reducing waste and making sure that the products customers want are always in stock.
Makes sense. So less waste, happier customers, more efficient operations. It's a win-win all around.
Exactly. And since we're talking about efficiency, let's shift gears to manufacturing. We've already touched on predictive maintenance, but AI is doing a lot more on the factory floor these days.
Oh yeah, AI and robots are like best friends forever.
They really are. Yeah. And we're not just talking about robots replacing human workers. AI is leading to the rise of collaborative robots, or cobots, as they're called.
Cobots, like robots that work with humans instead of replacing them.
Exactly. They can handle tasks that are dangerous or repetitive for humans, creating a safer and more efficient workplace overall.
Now that's a partnership I can get behind.
Right. And let's not forget about quality control. AI-powered vision systems can inspect products with incredible accuracy, making sure that only the best of the best makes it out the door.
That's crucial for any business, but especially in industries where even the smallest defect can have huge consequences.
Absolutely. And speaking of high stakes, let's wrap up our industry tour with a quick stop back in the world of financial services. We talked about fraud detection, but AI is also playing a vital role in risk management.
So it's not just about catching the bad guys, it's about predicting potential risks before they even happen.
Precisely. AI can analyze tons of data market trends, economic indicators, you name it, and make really smart predictions about the future.
It's like having a crystal ball for the markets.
Not quite a crystal ball.
Yeah.
But AI's predictive abilities are impressive.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it's not just about making money, it's about protecting it too. AI is helping financial institutions comply with all those complex regulations and prevent crimes like money laundering.
So it's like AI is becoming the financial watchdog, keeping everything in check.
Exactly.
Okay, it's clear that AI is revolutionizing how businesses operate across industries, and it's only going to get more prevalent in the years to come.
Absolutely. This isn't just a fad, it's a fundamental shift in how we do business.
And for business leaders who are ready to jump on board the AI train, what are some practical steps they can take to get started?
That's a great question. I think the first step is to really think about where AI can make the biggest impact in their specific organization. Don't just implement AI for the sake of it.
Right. You don't want to be trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly. Start by identifying the biggest challenges in your business and then see if AI can be part of the solution.
Right. So problem first, then AI solution, not the other way around.
Precisely. And then the next step is to educate yourself. AI can seem really daunting, but there are tons of resources out there to help you learn the basics. Online courses, books, articles, even podcasts like this one.
Shameless plug. But seriously, you don't need to become a data scientist overnight. Just start with the fundamentals and build from there.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. There are plenty of experts out there who are happy to share their knowledge and guide you on your AI journey.
It's like anything else. Finding the right mentor can make all the difference. But once you've got a grasp on the basics, it's time to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty.
Exactly. Experiment. There are tons of affordable AI tools out there that you can use to play around with different applications and see what works best for your business.
It's like learning to ride a bike. You can read all the books in the world, but eventually you just have to hop on and start pedaling.
Exactly. And just like learning to ride a bike, there will be a few bumps along the way, but don't let that discourage you.
Embrace the learning process, make mistakes, and keep experimenting.
That's how you get better. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are tons of online communities and forums where you can connect with other AI enthusiasts.
It's always good to have a support system.
Absolutely. Share your experiences, get help when you need it. The AI community is incredibly welcoming and supportive. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions.
Okay, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today. AI is clearly a powerful tool that has the potential to transform businesses in countless ways.
Absolutely. But before we wrap up, I think it's important to address one final crucial point. The ethical considerations of AI.
Ah, yes. We can't talk about all the amazing possibilities of AI without acknowledging the potential risks and challenges that come with it. It's like anything else. With great power comes great responsibility.
Well said. AI is a powerful tool, and like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or for evil.
It's like fire, right? It can keep us warm and cook our food, but it can also burn down our houses.
Exactly. So as we embrace all the amazing possibilities of AI, we also need to be mindful of its potential downsides and take steps to mitigate those risks.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some of those risks. One of the biggest concerns people have about AI is job displacement. As AI gets more sophisticated, it's inevitable that some jobs are going to be automated,
That's true. We're already seeing it happening in some industries.
like self-driving trucks, for example. That technology has the potential to displace millions of truck drivers.
That's right. But it's important to remember that technology has always disrupted the job market.
Think about the invention of the automobile. It put blacksmiths and horse-drawn carriage drivers out of business, but it also created millions of new jobs in the auto industry.
Exactly. And the same thing will happen with AI. While some jobs will disappear, many more will be created in areas like AI development, data analysis, and AI ethics.
So it's not necessarily a zero-sum game. It's more about adapting to a changing landscape and making sure that workers have the skills they need to thrive in an AI-powered world.
Precisely. And that's where education and training become so important. We need to make sure that workers are equipped with the skills they need to succeed in these new in-demand fields.
Absolutely. But job displacement isn't the only concern with AI. There's also the issue of bias.
Ah, yes. Bias in AI is a huge issue. AI algorithms are only as good as the data they're trained on, and if that data reflects existing societal biases, the AI will perpetuate those biases.
So for example, if an AI hiring tool is trained on data that shows a preference for male candidates in a particular industry, it might unfairly screen out qualified female applicants.
Exactly. And that bias can have far-reaching consequences, making existing inequalities even worse.
So how do we fix that? How do we ensure that AI is developed and used fairly, ethically, and without bias?
That's the million-dollar question. There's no easy answer, but there are definitely things we can do to mitigate bias. One important step is to make sure that the data used to train AI algorithms is diverse and representative of the population that the AI will be used on.
So if you're developing an AI hiring tool, you need to make sure that your training data includes a diverse range of candidates from all different backgrounds, genders, and ethnicities.
Exactly. And it's not just about the data itself, it's also about who's developing the AI in the first place. We need greater diversity in the tech industry to ensure that AI is developed with a broader range of perspectives in mind.
Absolutely. Because if everyone building AI looks and thinks the same way, we're going to end up with AI that reflects those limited perspectives.
Exactly. Diversity is key to creating AI that is fair, unbiased, and beneficial to everyone.
So we've talked about some of the potential downsides of AI, but let's end on a more positive note. Despite these challenges, I'm still optimistic about the future of AI.
As am I. AI has the potential to solve some of the world's most pressing problems, from climate change to disease.
Imagine a world where AI is helping us develop renewable energy sources, cure diseases, and create a more sustainable and equitable future for all. It's an exciting thought.
It really is.
But it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take collaboration, innovation, and a commitment to using this technology for good.
Well said. And it all starts with education, awareness, and thoughtful discussions like this one.
I couldn't agree more. So for all of you listening, I encourage you to stay informed, ask questions, and be a part of shaping the future of AI.
Because the future's in our hands.
You know, it's funny, we often get caught up in the excitement of all the possibilities of AI, but this guide subtly reminds us that AI itself isn't some magic bullet.
It's not as simple as flipping a switch and watching the robots take over.
Exactly. One thing this guide really highlights is that the success of any AI implementation really depends on something that's decidedly not artificial,
Uh,
your people.
100%. We can talk about algorithms and data all day long, but at the end of the day, it's humans who are making the decisions about how this technology is used.
And it's humans who need to be trained not just to use the tools, but to really think critically about the results they're getting.
Right. To spot potential issues, course correct if needed. We need people who understand both the business side and the capabilities and, let's be honest, the limitations of AI.
It's about finding that sweet spot where human intelligence and artificial intelligence work together.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another really important point that this guide emphasizes: transparency.
Because a black box might sound cool and mysterious, but in reality, it can be more trouble than it's worth.
Exactly. If you can't understand why an AI system made a particular decision, how can you trust it?
Right. Transparency is essential, not just for building trust with your customers and your team, but for identifying errors and making sure things are working as they should.
It's like they say, sunlight is the best disinfectant. The more transparent you are, the better.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And transparency isn't just about ethics, it's also about practicality.
Oh, absolutely.
The more you understand how an AI system works, the better equipped you are to troubleshoot it, improve it, and make sure it's actually helping you achieve your goals. So to sum it up for our listeners who are now hopefully fired up about the AI revolution, what's the one key takeaway they should remember from all of this?
Remember that AI is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used in a lot of different ways. It's up to us, the humans, to guide its development and make sure it's being used responsibly.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's all about finding that balance between pushing the boundaries of what's possible while also staying true to our values.
And never underestimate the power of asking good questions. This guide really encouraged that critical thinking about how AI can be applied in your specific situation.
It's about being curious, being willing to experiment, and knowing that even with all this incredible technology at our fingertips, there's always more to learn. And on that note of embracing curiosity and thoughtful exploration, we'll wrap up this deep dive. You've been listening to The Deep Dive. Until next time.
It's about understanding what people are saying online. All that data from social media and reviews and stuff.
Yeah, it's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
Exactly. But AI can actually analyze all that and tell you what the overall sentiment is.
So instead of just scrambling to react to every negative comment, companies can actually get ahead of the curve.
Exactly. It's like having a heads up if people are starting to turn against your brand or your product.
Damage control before the damage is done.
Right. And speaking of staying ahead of the game, let's move on to sales and marketing.
All right, sales and marketing. This is where things get really interesting because this is where AI gets really personal.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where AI is already having a huge impact.
I mean, we've all seen those targeted ads, right? The ones that are like eerily accurate.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
It is creepy. But it works. So
Yeah.
how does it work?
AI, that's how. One of the key things here is something called predictive lid scoring. Basically, AI can look at all sorts of data about your potential customers.
Okay, like what kind of data are we talking about here?
Everything. Past purchases, demographics, even their online behavior. And it can predict who's actually most likely to buy from you.
So no more wasting time on people who are never going to convert.
Exactly. It's like having a sixth sense for identifying those hot leads.
Every sales team on the planet is drooling right now.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's dynamic pricing.
Dynamic pricing, that sounds intense.
It is. It's basically AI adjusting prices in real time.
In real time.
Yeah, based on things like demand, competitor pricing, even your own browsing history.
So that thing we were talking about earlier with the plane tickets where the price seems to go up the more you look at it.
That's dynamic pricing in action.
Sneaky.
It is, but it's also incredibly effective. And it's just one example of how AI is changing the game for sales and marketing.
Okay, so we've got AI predicting our every move as consumers, but what about keeping all that money safe? That's where finance and risk management come in. And this is an area where AI seems like a perfect fit, right? I mean, it's all about crunching numbers and analyzing data.
Exactly. Yeah, and AI is really good at that.
Understatement of the year.
Right. Think about it. AI can analyze millions of transactions in real time, looking for suspicious activity.
So it's like having a fraud detection system on steroids.
Exactly. AI can spot things that humans would never even notice.
That's incredible. And it's not just about catching the bad guys, right? AI can also help companies make smarter financial decisions overall.
Absolutely. Things like risk assessment, forecasting.
Hmm.
AI can handle all of that, and it can do it much faster and more accurately than humans can.
It's like having a whole team of financial analysts working for you 24/7.
Exactly, freeing up those human analysts to focus on more strategic work.
Makes sense. But let's not forget about the human side of all this. We've talked a lot about how AI is impacting businesses, but what about the people who work in those businesses?
That's a really important point, and this is where human resources comes in.
So how is AI changing the game for HR?
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
For one thing, AI can help companies find and recruit the best talent.
Okay, I'm listening. Because finding the right people is crucial for any business.
It is, and it's getting harder and harder to do.
It's so competitive out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But AI can help. Imagine being able to analyze thousands of resumes in minutes, identifying the top candidates based on specific skills and experience.
So instead of spending hours and hours sifting through resumes,
Exactly. AI can do the heavy lifting for you. Remember that stat we talked about earlier about a company reducing their time to hire by 50%? That's the power of AI.
wow, that's huge. So they're not only finding better candidates, they're doing it much faster.
Precisely. And it's not just about hiring either. AI can also help companies create a more engaging and fulfilling work environment for their employees.
Okay, tell me more about that. Because employee engagement is so important, but it's also really hard to get right.
It is. But AI can help. For example, AI can analyze data from employee surveys, performance reviews, even things like email communication to identify patterns and trends.
So it's like AI is reading between the lines trying to figure out what's really going on.
In a way, it is. And those insights can be incredibly valuable for managers who are trying to create a positive and productive work environment. But let's zoom out for a minute and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay, zooming out.
We've talked a lot about how AI is impacting individual businesses, but it's also having a huge impact on those massive interconnected systems that keep the global economy running. Things like supply chains and logistics.
Oh boy, supply chains, the lifeblood of the global economy and also a constant source of headaches.
Tell me about it. But that's where AI can really make a difference. Imagine being able to predict demand with incredible accuracy, making sure that products are in the right place at the right time without any waste or delays.
That sounds like every business owner's dream come true.
It is, and AI is making that dream a reality.
Okay, so how does it actually work? How does AI tame the chaos of global supply chains?
Well, one way is through something called route optimization.
Route optimization, like finding the fastest way to get from point A to point B.
Exactly. But on a much larger scale, we're talking about coordinating the movement of goods across continents, using AI to optimize shipping routes, reduce transportation costs, and minimize delivery times.
That sounds incredibly complex.
It is, but that's the beauty of AI. It can handle that complexity.
So instead of relying on humans to make those decisions, which can be error-prone and time-consuming.
Exactly. AI can analyze massive amounts of data traffic patterns, weather forecasts, even things like political instability, and come up with the most efficient routes possible. The guide had a great example of this, a logistics company that used AI to reduce their delivery times by 15%.
Wow. 15%. That's huge. And I bet it saves them a ton of money on fuel costs, too.
You bet. They actually reduced their fuel costs by 10% just by optimizing their routes with AI.
Okay, so it's good for the bottom line and good for the environment.
Exactly. And that's a perfect example of how AI can be used to create a more sustainable and efficient future.
I love it when technology can do that. So we've talked a lot about how AI is impacting businesses across the board, from small startups to multinational corporations. But what about specific industries? Let's dive into some concrete examples. How is AI being used in, say, healthcare?
Oh man, healthcare is an area where AI has the potential to be absolutely transformative.
It's already happening, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you hear about AI being used to diagnose diseases and develop new treatments.
exactly. And it's only going to get more prevalent in the years to come. One of the most exciting areas is in medical imaging.
Oh, like using AI to read X-rays and MRIs.
Exactly. AI algorithms can analyze those images and spot tiny anomalies that a human radiologist might miss.
It's like having a second set of eyes, but these eyes are super powered.
Right, and that can make a huge difference, especially when you're talking about catching diseases like cancer in their early stages. In
Huh.
fact, this guide had a really interesting case study about a hospital that was using AI to analyze mammograms.
Mammograms, wow. That's incredible. So we're talking about potentially saving lives here.
Absolutely. And it's not just about diagnosis either. AI is also being used to develop new drugs and treatments, personalized medicine based on a patient's unique genetic makeup, even assist surgeons during complex procedures.
Okay, so it's like AI is becoming an indispensable tool for doctors and researchers.
It really is. And the potential benefits are huge. We're talking about improving patient outcomes, saving lives, and making healthcare more affordable and accessible for everyone.
Now, that's a future worth striving for. Okay, so we've talked about healthcare. What about retail? We've already touched on how AI is being used for things like dynamic pricing and personalized recommendations, but I'm sure there's more to the story.
Oh, absolutely. Retail's all about understanding the customer, and AI is giving retailers superpowers in that department.
Superpowers, huh?
Seriously, think about those personalized recommendations we were talking about earlier. They're not just about convenience. They're driven by incredibly sophisticated AI algorithms that are constantly analyzing your data.
My data, like
Right.
what I click on, what I buy, what I look at online.
All of it, and more. These algorithms are like digital detectives, piecing together clues about your preferences and predicting what you might be interested in buying next.
It's a little creepy when you think about it, but I have to admit, it's also really effective.
It is. And it's not just about recommendations. AI is also being used to optimize store layouts, personalize the in-store experience, even prevent shoplifting.
Wait, AI can prevent shoplifting.
It can. Some stores are using AI-powered cameras and sensors to identify suspicious behavior and alert security guards before a theft even occurs.
Wow, that's wild. It's like AI is becoming the ultimate loss prevention system.
In a way, it is. And it's just another example of how AI is changing the retail landscape.
So from personalized shopping experiences to super smart security systems, it seems like AI is touching every aspect of the retail industry.
It really is. And it's only going to become more prevalent in the years to come.
Okay, let's shift gears again and talk about manufacturing. We already talked about predictive maintenance, but I know AI is doing a lot more in that space.
Oh yeah, manufacturing is like the perfect playground for AI.
How so?
Well, think about it. Manufacturing is all about precision, efficiency, and automation. And those are all things that AI excels at.
So it's like AI and manufacturing were made for each other.
Exactly. And we're not just talking about robots doing repetitive tasks on an assembly line anymore. AI is being used to design better products, optimize production processes, even create entirely new materials.
Okay, now we're talking about some next level stuff. Give me an example.
Sure, some companies are using AI to develop what are called generative design tools. Basically, you feed the AI a set of parameters like the desired size, weight, and strength of a product, and the AI generates hundreds or even thousands of potential designs.
Wow, so instead of human engineers spending months or even years coming up with new designs.
Exactly. AI can do it in a fraction of the time,
Hmm.
and it can often come up with designs that humans would never have even thought of.
That's amazing. It's like AI is unlocking a whole new world of possibilities in manufacturing.
It really is. And this is just the beginning. As AI continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more incredible innovations in manufacturing in the years to come.
Okay, last but not least, let's circle back to the world of financial services. We already talked about how AI is being used for fraud detection and risk management, but I'm sure it's also having a big impact on the customer-facing side of things.
Oh, absolutely. AI is changing the way we bank, invest, and manage our finances.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, for starters, AI-powered chatbots are becoming increasingly common in financial services. They can answer customer questions, provide account information, even help with basic transactions.
So it's like having a personal banker available 24/7.
Exactly. And because these chatbots are powered by AI, they're constantly learning and improving their responses over time.
So the more you interact with them, the smarter they get.
Precisely. But AI is doing a lot more than just powering chatbots. It's also being used to personalize financial advice, create customized investment portfolios, even detect and prevent financial crimes like money laundering.
It's like AI is becoming the ultimate financial advisor.
In a way, it is. But as with any powerful tool, it's important to use AI responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely. We can't just unleash these powerful algorithms on the world without thinking about the potential consequences.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to have these conversations about AI ethics.
And to make sure that AI is being developed and used in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Absolutely.
hmm
AI has the potential to make the world a better place, but only if we use it wisely.
You know, it's funny. We often get so caught up in all the amazing things AI can do that we forget it's not actually magic.
It's true. There's this temptation to think of AI as a magic bullet.
Right. Like just plug it in and all your problems are solved.
Exactly. But this guide does a good job of subtly reminding us that the real magic comes from how you use AI, and that involves good old-fashioned human ingenuity.
It's like that saying, technology is only as good as the people using it.
Could have said it better myself. We can design the most sophisticated algorithms in the world, but at the end of the day, it's humans who have to make the decisions.
And humans who need to be trained, right? Not just to use the AI tools, but to think critically about the output, to spot potential issues, and to make sure everything's running smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. We need people who understand both the business side and the AI side so they can bridge that gap and make sure the technology is actually being used effectively.
It's like having a bilingual team fluent in both business and AI.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial point that this guide emphasizes, kind of subtly, transparency.
Because we've all heard about those black box AI systems where even the developers don't fully understand how the AI is making decisions.
Right. And that might sound cool and mysterious, but in reality, it's a recipe for disaster.
Because if you don't know why an AI is making certain decisions, how can you trust it?
Exactly. Transparency is essential, not just for ethical reasons, but for practical reasons too.
So it's not just about doing the right thing, it's about making sure the AI is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Exactly. The more transparent an AI system is, the easier it is to troubleshoot problems, to improve accuracy, and to ensure that it's aligned with your overall business goals.
It's like they say, sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Love that analogy. So as we wrap up this deep dive on AI in business, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners will remember?
Ooh, good question. I think it's this. AI is a tool. It's a powerful tool, but it's still just a tool.
I like that.
It's up to us, the humans, to decide how we're going to use that tool. Are we going to use it to create a better future, or are we going to let it run amok and create a dystopian nightmare?
Heavy stuff. But it's true. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's up to us to shape it.
And that's what I find so exciting about this field. There's so much potential, but it's up to us to steer it in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note of cautiously optimistic exploration, I think we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. It's been a fascinating journey into the world of AI and business, and we've barely scratched the surface.
There's so much more to explore.
There really is. But for now, we'll leave you with this thought. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged in the conversation about AI.
Because it's a conversation that's going to shape the future.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive, and we'll catch you next time.